Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Peter Walsh Show, and today I'm coming with a little bit of concern. Yes, you know, some of you, that I'm checking out these dating lifestyle articles online now, just making sure we're up to date and seeing what people are talking about, especially journalists from newspapers or any freelancers out there. Now, some of you may know, you might have heard, this is maybe your first time listening to me ever, but some of you probably know already that, guys, I'm really trying to help you out when it comes to dating. A lot of you know that already. Now, here's the problem, is that as I'm going along this road with you guys, sometimes it can be a very, very bumpy road, because I'm seeing a lot of people trying to brainwash singles and people who are in relationships already into believing certain things. Now, I'm reading another article today. Now, I'm a bit of two minds with this one, because now this is from a lady who, she's on about how to win a bad breakup. Now, when I read the heading, I went, oh God, what's she gonna do? What has she done? I feel bad for this guy. Oh my God alive. Has she just gone out and had sex with his best friend or something? I don't know. But it wasn't as bad as that. But, you know, when I see winning a bad breakup, guys, what we have to remember here, right? And look, I've had girlfriends in the past. I've ended things myself, right? I didn't want to continue on the relationship only because there was a lack of trust. I had one girl that I really, really wanted to be with her, and the moment she was around her friends, she turned into a completely different person. I had another girl who was just cheating on me, and both girls, I really wanted to be with them. Really, really, truly did. I did everything in my power, guys, to make those relationships work. I swear to God, I went over, above and beyond, and I never ever had a lack of sleep relating to, did I do enough? Never once. And I can sleep well with that. And that was back in the day, right? But, you know, here's the thing. We need to go the extra step every now and then. There's too many people trying to save face and trying to save ego. You see, guys, when our ego gets involved, that's when things get fucked, right? You know, I'm sure a lot of you listening out there, right? I'm sure you can relate to me here where... Now, this is before we go into the article, guys, right? This has nothing to do with the article, but we're kind of on the same page here, right? Where you go into a bar, right? You see your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend there, and, you know, they're still in love with you, or you're still in love with them, or whatever. There's feelings there. And isn't it amazing the way your ex will just stand there and it's like you don't exist, or they just don't give a damn? Like, really? Is this the kind of world we're living in? Whereas our egos are telling us to do that. And here's the thing, we all do that. You know, we do that a lot of the time. Now, I don't do that because I can see through that bullshit, right? Like, you had a relationship with the person. If you got dumped, well, you obviously still have feelings for them. Now, you don't have to be going around going down on your hands and fucking knees. But, you know, it's okay to feel awkward around your ex. It's perfectly okay, even if they can see it. Hey, fuck it, even if they can smell it off you that you're awkward around them. Well, that's understandable, you know? But the people that go around pretending, oh, they're having the greatest laugh in the world and you don't exist and this and that, well then that's actually putting up a picture of you don't care anymore. Now, when did it ever become acceptable to show people that you don't care? Now, I understand if you get dumped, yeah, you know, your ego's hurt, but that's your ego, okay? Because your ego's telling you, oh, show don't give a fuck, but underneath is your true feelings. So your ego is telling you some bullshit to act out, right? So like our egos, guys, are crap. We have these ridiculous egos, and we all have one, including me, to some degree, right? And our egos are full of shit. Okay, they really truly are. They can help us in certain scenarios, yes, but in general, if your ego gets hurt, it's going to act out in a stupid way, and most of us do. Right? So if you ever see your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend in a bar and, you know, you do think that the person does still love you, or they probably do have feelings for you because you know them to a degree, right? And all of a sudden they're acting like they don't give a shit. It's their ego. They're full of shit. They're going to go home crying their eyes out that night in misery. All right? It's obvious as day. And you know why? And I'll tell you this. Imagine you don't care anymore. I think I was mentioning this in one of the podcast episodes way back. But imagine, let's go the opposite way. Imagine you don't actually give a damn anymore. Right? Let's say I'm Peter and I break up with Mary, right? I couldn't give a damn about Mary anymore. In fact, I've never been so happy in all my life to get away from Mary. If anything, I don't want to come across as I don't give a shit. If anything, I don't want to look like an asshole. Because I don't want to look like, some evil prick and unemotional and all that. So, in many ways, because I don't care, I'm going to pretend I care. Now, of course, there's certain scenarios where, of course, you actually genuinely do care, and you're not putting on an act. So don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just saying that quite a few times when you genuinely don't care, sometimes, and some people will actually pretend they do because they don't want to come across that they don't give a damn. Anyway, I think I've made my point. So let's get on with this article. Now, I'm obviously not going to mention her name or the paper, but okay, so here's where I'm kind of torn between two with this lady. I actually admire her to a lot of degrees here, but then she almost slips back into her hurt ego and she starts it's about winning over the ex-boyfriend then, which is not good for anyone, guys, okay? And you'll see what I mean now when we go through this. So she starts off by saying, being dumped is already humiliating enough. Understand that? And she was on about that there's mistakes people make afterwards. Okay. Now, she said that she got dumped and it was really, really bad. So what happened was she went on a weekend away together with her boyfriend at the time, and they've both fiery personalities. So they end up having this huge end-of-the-world fight on that night. And he said to her, "I don't want you ever contacting me again." Now, I get it. It's like, oh my God. All right? But, oh shit. Now, I understand on her part because the next day after the fight, now I'm presuming now they're at home at this stage, right? And they went back to their separate houses and he said that to her, right? Assuming. Because the next day then, she calls him. She's obviously not around with him. And he didn't answer the call. She sent a humiliating text. And he came back with, "Seriously, don't contact me again," in caps lock. Like, okay, I really, really understand. Now, what I admire about her is that there's a lot of women and there's a lot of men out there, not everyone, that when they get dumped, right? Now, sometimes they get dumped for a good fucking reason, guys, because somebody's cheated on them, or they're really acting bad, like a real asshole to the other person, and that's goddamn right they got dumped. Now, sometimes it's not. But in this situation, we don't know who the bad or good guy is, or bad woman, or whatever, right? We don't. But now she did send that. What I like about her is that he said that don't contact me again, whereas a lot of people would go, "Oh, I'm the poor little victim now, and he said don't contact me again," and that's it, job done, boom, they're gone. Right? Now, even so, a lot of the times, a girl or a guy could be wrong, a real asshole in a scenario, and then the person says, "You know what, don't fucking contact me again." And you know what? If the person was an asshole, they should be self-aware. I'm always going on about self-aware. You should be self-aware of what you're doing in a relationship. And maybe that person has every right to tell me to fucking don't fuck off and don't contact me again. Or maybe, do you know what? Maybe they'll calm down the next day, give it 24 hours and contact them again. Don't go off and play the fucking victim every 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean, guys? There's too much of that going on, and the sort of "I'm never wrong, he's always wrong, or she's always wrong, I'm always right" as a man and a woman. It's crazy. Carry on. If you really want to be with somebody, you gotta go the extra step. Now, I admire this lady. Okay, now fair enough. She didn't believe it 100% yet that when he said don't contact me, she wasn't sure. and I appreciate that, she didn't go play the victim instantly, right? You know, crying to her friends, oh, look at me, girls, poor me. And then by the time the fucking dinner's over, crying on their shoulder, he's the biggest asshole on the planet because everybody puts arms and legs on the fucking conversation, right? And they're feeding off her violin out. And in fairness, you wouldn't blame the friends either because they're just hearing one side, you know? But at least I admire her, and I love that she went the extra step. Do you know what? Yeah, it was kind of humiliating. He dumped me. He told me don't contact me again, but I'm going to go one more time because she was in love with him. And fair fucks to you, woman. And anybody that's ever been in that situation, especially women, because women wouldn't do it more so than men. And ladies, if you're out there, if you've ever gone that extra step, well fucking done to you. A lot of people look at this the wrong way. They're looking at, oh God, I made such an idiot out of myself. Oh my God. There's nothing more humble and ballsy than when somebody humbles themselves in front of someone else. You never stand so tall. I know there's a saying, I can't think of the exact saying, but you never stand so tall when you humble yourself in front of someone else. And you take your delicate, fragile ego out of the equation. A lot of times when people break up, it's because of the fucking ego. Okay? A lot of it is. And you know, I think some of you listening to this, I have a good feeling you know exactly what I'm on about. Now, okay, let's move on here. So, she's, okay, so he said that don't contact me again. Now, she said she felt panic setting in. She's thinking it was a dumb fight because they always have them, right? So could they have a bit of a make-up time and then have great sex afterwards? Well, maybe, right? Maybe. And then she's wondering, well, he can't be that mad. Why is he acting like he hates me? Now, she does say this. Because, dear friends, ego is a hell of a personality trait. If you hit a man, metaphorically speaking now, if you hit a man, right where his ego sits, and you will know all about it. I fought dirty and it came back to bite me. Now, I love that she admitted that she fought dirty. She obviously was a bit of a bitch, right? Now, this guy sounds like he could probably be a bit of an asshole too, okay? And he bit back. So again, we don't know all, so I'm not just waving the wrong finger at her now, guys. I'm just saying that that's what she's saying here, and I'm getting from this article. But she's wrong here when I say this, right? If you hit a man right where his ego sits, you'll know all about it. Well, if you hit a woman, metaphorically speaking, if you hit a woman where her ego sits, you'll know all about it too. So it's not just for men. It's for a lot of people. And this is where the problem fucking starts. Our egos. We have to get out of our own ego's way. Humble yourself. The solution to getting over ego is admitting to people you're wrong. Looking them in the eye, or if you can't look them in the eye and you can't meet them face to face, you give them a phone call, you send them a text message, an email, whatever it is. Humbling yourself takes away all that ego. And you know what, guys, if you've ever gone to this situation before, it is an amazing release because you've let go of your ego and all of a sudden you just feel, oh. I've done it numerous times because my motivation in life is to have good relationships with people. And that's why I'm here with you guys, trying to help you guys with relationships. I'd love for you guys to have the same that I go for. Now, I know everybody's motivation is different, but you know what? If you guys are around me and if I know you well, like I could have a good friend of mine that could be in a really shitty mood. He's always a bit of an asshole, but all of a sudden he finds a woman. He's a happier guy. Guess what? He's happier around me. I'm happier. Isn't life too fucking short for this bollocks of just shouting and hitting out at each other? You know? Okay, so she moves on, and so she's thinking, right. She's got some options now. She's dumped. Where does she go now? Well, she says, I could cry and beg him back, but based on previous experience, that doesn't end well. It's like asking your self-respect to pack its bags and leave. Well, really? You see, this is, again, what I'm on about your ego. Now, I don't expect this girl to come crying and begging him back. No. Right, guys? You see, and I think a lot of people, if you're listening, going, oh, well, fuck this. Your ego's probably is probably talking to you right now, right? And you're probably saying, oh, Peter, I'm not going to go begging him back or begging her back. I'm not on about begging people back. You have a conversation. You say, hey, look, Mary, I want to have a chat. Can you just please give me 10 minutes to talk about something? And then never talk to me again if you don't want to. And you admit that you're fucking wrong. You don't have to go begging them back. Now, if you went off cheating and things, or you did something, and I mean horrendous, like unforgivable, well, it's never going to work anyway, but maybe then you should be begging back. But you don't beg people back. And I agree that for women too. Women should never beg a man back. A man should never beg a woman back. So, I don't agree with her here. So, what does she do? She's thinking, well, okay, she can get some saucy pics of her up on Instagram and hopefully the guy comes running back. Now she's thinking, well, you know what? Normally if that happens, you have a roll in the hay and then he dumps him, and then the guy dumps you again. Or, this is what I admire about her too. She goes, well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the healthy way. She booked in a session with a therapist, unpack her grief, as she calls it, with a kind ear rather than some booze. And she said it worked wonders. And here where it's kind of turning again. She said it worked wonders. Within a month he was reaching out to me, desperate to get back. Desperate. And for the first time in my life, I saw the toxic relationship for exactly what it was, and I said no. My friends were shocked but chuffed. Finally, I was making smart decisions when it came to my love life. Alright. But you see, I don't like the way she said it worked wonders. As in, she's delighted that he was desperate to get her back. Like you want the other person to be wallowing in self-pity. Unless they cheated on you and it was really unforgivable, understandable. But she obviously wanted the guy back, so it couldn't have been that bad. So why would you wish that on anybody? You know? So what does she say? Please, guys, if you've read something like this before, maybe try this, right? Her number one rule when you break up with somebody. Here's what she says. Mute them on all forms of social media. Don't be dramatic and delete them straight away. Let's be honest, you were doing that for a reaction. Nope, you were going to very quietly and gently mute them. Out of sight, out of mind, at least while you get over the first initial pang of heartbreak. Well, okay, no, I'm not agreeing with you here, honey. Not at all. Now I'm going to go back. About blocking the person straight away. Guys, I've been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, I've broken up with a girl, and I've blocked them pretty much straight away. Now, it took me about 24 hours to kind of build up the the courage and preparation. It's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But it took me about 24 hours, right? And don't worry about it, it takes you 24 hours. But you see, here's what she's saying, right? If you block them or delete them straight away, you're doing that for a reaction. Well, let's go back here. Well, there may be a reaction, but your ex is thinking something of you anyway, right? If you block or delete them straight away. Okay. Let's take a step back. Let's say you unfriend them on social media, but you don't block them. There still could be a reaction for you, as in, oh, they unfriended me, but yet she's thinking now maybe she didn't block me because she wants me to reach out to her when I'm drunk, or she's going to reach out to me while I'm drunk. Right? So there you go. There's a possible reaction there, and they're thinking something of you anyway. Then there's option 3. If you actually stay friends with them on social media, following each other, friends, whatever it is. Well, okay, your ex is going to think, oh, she didn't unfriend me. What's going on here? Is she just hanging on to me here because she wants to reach out to me and hopefully I'm going to change my mind? Or maybe I'm just thinking, oh, okay, she still wants me. You see, either way, all roads lead to people are going to judge you, or they're going to think something of you, and you're hoping for a reaction anyway, or they're thinking you're waiting for a reaction. Either way, guys, this is where she's wrong. Because all roads lead to exactly what she's saying. She's saying don't block, delete them straight away because you're doing it for a reaction. It's the same thing. Whether you keep them as friends or you just unfollow them or unfriend them, but you don't block them. So all three roads lead to the exact same thing, okay? I just want to hopefully make sure I get that point across. Now, what I would say for your own personal health, because no matter what happens, they're going to make they're going to draw a conclusion of what you're doing on social media, whether you block them or you don't, or whatever you do. They're going to think something bad of you and good of you anyway, right? So either way, you can't escape that thought. You cannot escape that thought. So what I would do for your own sanity is block and delete them straight away. That's exactly what I would do. Because it's all the same, guys, no matter what happens. Okay, number 2, she says get busy, right? She says distraction is the aim of the game. Throw yourself into work. If you wanted a promotion, take on those extra hours, go that extra mile, add that 20% of effort to every work task you do. Make yourself stand out. Fill your diary with activities and work things, and just get out there and do stuff. Now, I do agree with her here. Now, she does say at the end here, what did she say? She's like, so do you really want to be sitting around crying and thinking about the person all day, where you could just be out there and getting on with stuff? No, you shouldn't. Well, basically, guys, that's not good, right? If you're just distracting yourself. She says you'll just find digging yourself deeper into that pit of despair. That's what she says about crying in bed all day. Well, that's the whole point, ladies and gentlemen. You don't distract yourself with everything. You need time for both. She's right by saying, yes, get out there, and you know what? Maybe this is an opportunity in disguise. Maybe that job I wanted, that promotion I wanted, maybe now is the fucking time to really focus on it. Maybe I want to get that fucking the new position, right? The new managerial position. Maybe it's now time to fucking really focus on it. I 100% agree with her here. She's just leaving out the other part. She's on about distract yourself. Don't think about it. Don't cry and blah, blah, blah. No, guys. You need time for yourself. Here's what you need to do. I don't care if you're a man or woman here. You need to go home, or when you wake up in the morning, you've broken up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you need to set aside a half an hour of just alone time, of absolute despair, mental, emotional breakdown for that half an hour. Even set your fucking alarm if you have to. And you use that time to absolutely bawl your eyes out crying, get it all out of you. Because what you need to do is express your feelings. If you just say, oh, I'm not going to think about that anymore, I'm just going to focus on my work. Yeah, right, guys. When has that ever fucking happened? When has that ever led to good things? And when has that ever actually completely and utterly blocked your ex out of your head? Because all of a sudden they come crashing into your head when you come back home anyway. So what you need to do is set some time every single day. Bawl your eyes out. Get up in the morning. Bawl your eyes out for that half an hour. Okay, that's your time. Fucking head in between your knees, right? Rocking back and forth if you have to, crying your fucking eyes out, and get it all out. Now then, when the alarm goes off, say, okay, I've given it my time now for this morning. Now I'm going to go and push myself, like she's saying, get that job, right? Give it the time, guys. Don't ignore it. It's in you. We're all fucking human. You know, and the more you actually express and get to the bottom of those feelings, the quicker you'll get over the person. That's a goddamn true statement. Distracting and ignoring it is ignoring your feelings. That's exactly what it is. Hopefully you're listening to this. It's ignoring your feelings. The feelings are still there. You're just ignoring them. They don't go away. They'll just fucking build up in some other place. And all of a sudden, what happens? You're out in the night on the piss or drinking with your friends, and all of a sudden you start crying because the salt wasn't on your chips. And it wasn't about the salt. It was literally that it's all come pouring out of you. So, number 3, she says, glow up. I'm not saying shed the pounds so you can tempt your ex with pics on Instagram. She's saying I'm saying get your butt to the gym for you. Okay, well that's not bad. Update your hairstyle, invest in a new wardrobe. Look good, feel good. Yeah, I'll give her that one now, right? It's definitely advisable you do it for yourself. You know, we've all had that temptation where you break up with somebody and you're feeling so shit, right? And like, believe me guys, I've been here, I've been there, done that as well, wearing the t-shirt. That you just want to, you want to rub it in their face how good you look, right? 100% human, 100% understandable, right? What happens though is you start bulking up, right? If you're a guy, you put on a bit of muscle, you're looking a lot better, or you're a lady and you've lost a couple of pounds, or, you've done something better with yourself in the gym, whatever it is, right? Whichever cardio or putting on weights, whatever it is, or losing weight. All of a sudden what happens, you meet your ex, you walk past them on the street, and they might give you a look. You're like, oh, Peter looks good. Or maybe they don't. And all that work lasted for about 5 to 10 seconds. Because they're not going to come running back because you look better, right? And guess what? If they do, yeah, they might be like, okay, oh my god, and they feel like shit for about 10 minutes. And guess what happens? You get back with them, and what? Are you gonna be back with them because you look better? Really? No, it isn't. You still have the same fucking problems. Now, you might be missing each other, right? And you see your ex on the street and you look great, and fair enough, a trigger, oh my god, they look gorgeous, oh Jesus, oh god, oh my god, and you want to be with them again, and it just triggers you off, pushes you over the cliff. Well, go shag. Why not? Get it out of your system. But in the morning time, you're still left with the problems that were there in the first place. Looking good doesn't do anything if you're doing it to shove it up your ex's ass. Alright guys? And I know, believe me, it's very tempting. It'll just last 5 minutes. That's all. And hey, if you want that 5 minutes, go for it. Because you're going to feel pretty empty afterwards. Now, she's very right in saying, do it for you. Maybe it is a good mental thing to do. Because it helps you strengthen. And pushing those things, like tasks or going to the gym, it makes you believe, it gives you confidence to get over scenarios. You can still continue with your life, proceed with your life in certain scenarios. Now, here's another one, number 4. Lay off the alcohol. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting one. Now, by the way, guys, I think you're going to probably think I'm fucking mental when I say this, when I explain what I'm about to tell you. But I'll say what she's about to say. She says, for a very simple reason, the first person to drunk text loses. It's no secret that alcohol interferes with the brain's communication pathways, but first you get a few espresso martinis down the hatch, and you're leaving sobbing voicemails on your ex's phone. Seriously, don't go on a bender. Okay. I get it. We've all been there. However, haven't we all been there anyway, where we've made that drunk fucking call? You know what I mean, guys? Like, it's not like, oh, well, it's the booze. No. Because subconsciously, you'll find a reason to get drunk, right? Or find another reason to contact your ex. And the booze is just the excuse, right? So let's say you do go on it, you don't drink at all. And all of a sudden, you're feeling lonely and you miss them and you're hiking every weekend, but you'll find another way to contact them if you really want to. And here's one thing for you. I call it crashing the car. Maybe you should crash the car. Maybe it's not such a bad thing after all. Now, I'm speaking from experience here, guys, right? Maybe you should go out and get pissed off your head and let yourself be, and let's see what happens. And if you do contact them, well, fuck it, you contact them. I call it crashing the car. Here's why. Number 1, I would say, yes, you delete their number off your phone. Okay? Delete them off your phone. So then it minimizes the risk of you contacting them, right? I mean, if you got a choice, go with the choice of let's not contact them. You know what I mean? However, maybe you should put yourself to the test, and maybe you genuinely should crash the fucking car. In other words, maybe you wake up the next morning, you look at your phone and like, oh my god, and believe me guys, I've been there, done that, okay? And I know, that feeling where you're just, oh my god? and unbelievable panic sets in. You're just like, oh my god, my whole world is over. It's all over. It's fucking all over. And you want to die. You want the floor to eat you up. You never want to leave your bed, never mind your actual bedroom, right? You never want to leave the house again. Now, look, anytime I've contacted my exes, unless I'm wrong, I don't think any of them were sitting there laughing out loud with a stomach pain, laughing at me, right? Firstly, they knew you were drunk, okay? And it just, it came out, right? Secondly, what's wrong with having feelings for the person? Like, in one way, isn't it weird that we wouldn't contact them? If you have a relationship with somebody, like, isn't that almost unemotional, unhuman that you wouldn't contact the person, that it wouldn't pop into your head to contact them because you miss them? Why wouldn't you be like that? I mean, it's interesting if you look at it that way, guys. Now, I get it. Of course, you still don't want to make the phone call, right? You know what I mean? Or unblock them from social media and then start calling them or messaging them on after you've unblocked them. Or maybe you know their phone number off by heart, so it doesn't matter whether you actually have their fucking phone number or not because you know it off by heart anyway, right? But crash the car. And I think there's some really good positives come out when you crash the car. In other words, what I say is, when you contact them, right? And you have that unbelievable, oh my God, fear of God, cringe, humiliated, embarrassed, whatever you want to call it, the next day. Maybe it is actually a good thing because you know what happens? You ain't gonna do it again, are you? Now, unless it's half and half, maybe you will do it again. But if it's that bad, something tells me you ain't doing it again. And it also reminds you that you didn't want to do it. And that you don't want to be involved with them. Do you know what I mean? It's a reminder. So guys, my point is this. I wouldn't be recommending that you go out and get drunk, right? That's not my number one motto here. I'm just saying is, go out with your friends. If your friends, hey Peter, you're on for the weekend, go out with them, and you don't have to hook up with anybody. Just go out in the piss. Just go out for drinks. Don't control yourself. Let the car crash if it's going to fucking crash, as I say. And if you really need a fucking smack on the head, right, where you shouldn't do it again, believe me, if you wake up and you do it, you'll learn your lesson now. And think of it this way, guys. If you've broken up with somebody before and you've been on the receiving end where your ex called you, right? I mean, unless you're a bad apple here, did you sit there the next day and laugh your ass off at them? Now, maybe it made you feel good. Yeah, I understand that. I get it. But sit there and go, I can't believe it. Dude was crying. He was contacting me when he was drunk. I can't believe it. Girls, let him get a hold of this. Or lads, come here. You wouldn't believe this, man. Oh my God. And everybody's sitting around laughing their ass off. Well, then you're just a dickhead then. Sorry, but you are. Like, every girl that's contacted me when we've broken up, I've never once, guys, never once in my life actually laughed at any of those girls. I understood. Because I understand that people have feelings, even though I didn't want to be with that girl anymore, or that girl didn't want to be with me, or whatever it was. I understand. We all have fucking feelings. They don't just disappear overnight. Okay, so, number 5. No reaction is the perfect reaction. Oh dear. Now she says, unless you move to the other side of the world, you're gonna probably see your ex again. Whether it's you text them, or they text you, or it's at the supermarket. Now she says here, your first reaction is crucial. Oh my good God. That's total rubbish horseshit anyway, guys. It's not. Like, talk about pressure to put on yourself. I mean, you're walking around like a fucking tight stick. You're walking around like walking on a tightrope in a hurricane with that one. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Just whatever happens, happens, you know? If your heart drops, your heart drops. Now, remember this, guys. If you bump into your ex and you're like, you know, your heart falls to the ground, which, hey, I've been in that situation. Everybody's been in that situation to some shape or form, right? Chances are their heart's gonna stop, or if their heart doesn't stop, they're like, oh shit, oh god, there she is, and it's cringe, right? All of a sudden you go into your head, and the chances are you're thinking of your own fucking reaction than theirs, right? And even so, even if you think, geez, yeah, I think actually her heart stopped there when she saw me, then all of a sudden you go home and you're thinking, did it? Did it really? Or was I imagining that? You know what I mean, guys? Because if you want to believe that it did, then all of a sudden the paranoia kicks in. Oh god, did it? Did it really? Oh god, I don't know, actually, no. Oh god, I hope it was. Really? Wasn't it? Why isn't she texting me? You know? Because then you're going to doubt it then. So, like, it doesn't matter what happens. Your heart falls to the ground, or you put on this wonderful, brave act of not giving a fuck, which, by the way, I don't believe in that either, guys. Okay? And she does say here, the person may have ripped your heart out and stomped on it a few times, but we're not going to give them the satisfaction knowing you're still affected by their presence. Okay, well, I mean, if they really hurt and fuck you over, I understand it more, but my point, guys, is that just don't put pressure on yourself. If you do end up, you know, heart dropping on the ground and it's so obvious to the person, forgive yourself, it's okay. Because guess what? If you try and cover it up, it's going to probably, 99% of the time, show more than if you tried to not. Okay? And she says, if they reach out to you, don't act bitchy or excited, simply act unfazed. Well, I mean, it depends on the scenario, right? But guys, please, just don't put pressure on yourself. And she says, be polite but unfazed. Really? You see, there's about a million things that can go through your ex's mind right now. Like if I met my ex right now and she's unfazed, she doesn't give a shit, she looks like she's like kind of almost looking at her watch once she gets out of there, right? Maybe not that bad, but you know, she's not engaging with me, right? I'd be like, whoa, okay. Maybe she met someone else, or maybe this is her true self. Maybe she actually didn't give a fuck before, and now she doesn't give a fuck to show her real self now. All sorts of amazing, weird, wonderful things go through our heads when this stuff happens. And the point is this, if you've got feelings for your ex, it doesn't matter how you act around them or how they act around you, you're still going to think about them and your motivation still comes out. If you still want to be back with them, it doesn't matter if they've made a fool out of themselves, it still works in their favor because you want them back. If you think about that, guys, you'll know exactly what I mean. So, guys, my point is this. Please, don't put yourself under pressure. Alright, the first impression is last, or even she says crucial. Give me a fucking break. Right? And what if they do go home? Right? If I meet Mary now and she's unfazed, she doesn't give a fuck. Like, does Mary really want Peter thinking that, whoa, she's an insensitive bitch, or she just has no feelings? Because you could be putting on such a stupid bad act and overacting it that you do look like you have no feeling, you don't have a human bone in your body. Let you be real in the moment. And who gives a fuck if your heart falls to the ground? Remember this. They're going to be in their head, guys, and they're going to be thinking of their own feelings, because even if, like I said, even if their heart doesn't drop to the ground, they're gonna still be going, oh shit, this is awkward, oh, and they're gonna be thinking about a million different things at one time to either get out of there quick or to just ignore you. So don't worry about it. So guys, that is my wonderful podcast today. Just the key, guys, here, don't try and win the breakup. Alright, I get it, if somebody's cheated on you, horrendous, and you want to get some revenge. I understand. Jesus Christ, I do. And I'm not going to try and tell anybody. just these roads just don't lead to anything good. They just fucking don't. The best thing we can do is be upfront and go that extra step for that person in the relationship. And the best ending you want is not by winning, not by getting one over on them afterwards, like this lady said a lot of her stuff, not all of it. The best stuff is when the relationship ends, you know that you've done everything, right? Take your ego out of it, go the extra step at the end, and you will sleep well at night. You might be heartbroken it's over, devastated, crying every night, but you'll sleep at night. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.